Singapore is often celebrated for its gleaming skyline, high homeownership rates, and economic success. Yet beneath this prosperity lies a growing, often invisible crisis: homelessness. Recent reports and street counts have revealed a troubling rise in rough sleeping, especially among those under 35. This trend challenges the assumption that homelessness is rare or self-inflicted in a wealthy city-state. Instead, it points to deeper issues: policy gaps, family breakdowns, mental health struggles, and economic precarity. Through the lens of Leong Sze Hian's decades of pro bono financial counseling, we see that homelessness in Singapore is not just about lacking a roof. It's about the intersection of personal crises and systemic barriers. In this video, we'll explore the stories, numbers, and policies that shape this hidden reality, and ask, how can a city so rich still leave so many vulnerable? To truly understand homelessness in Singapore, we must look beyond assumptions and examine the data. Nationwide street counts in 2019 found up to 1,050 people sleeping rough, far more than the public imagined. During the pandemic, shelter use rose as outdoor sleeping fell, but the total number of homeless remained steady. 2025 Straits Times report highlighted a surge in young rough sleepers, many of whom left home due to family conflict, unstable work, or mental health struggles. These numbers reveal that homelessness is not a fringe issue. It's a persistent, evolving challenge shaped by shifting economic realities and policy decisions. The data also shows that many homeless Singaporeans are employed, sometimes full-time, yet still unable to afford stable housing. This disconnect between work and shelter is a warning sign that the system is failing to protect its most vulnerable. Singapore's housing and welfare policies have lifted millions into homeownership, but they also create blind spots. The system is built around the idea of stable families and steady employment. Public rental housing is limited and tightly rationed, with strict eligibility rules that often exclude singles under 35, divorcees, and those without a family nucleus. CPF savings are locked away for retirement, leaving many cash poor during crises. Social assistance is targeted and means tested, but the process can be slow and difficult, especially for those in urgent need. These policies, while well-intentioned, can turn temporary setbacks, like job loss, illness, or family conflict, into prolonged homelessness. Stories from Leong Sze Hian's counseling work show that many fall through the cracks not because of personal failure, but because the system is not designed for today's realities. The next scene will bring these stories to life. Behind every statistic is a real person. Take Miss Lee, a single mother and permanent resident with 4 children. When her husband left, she lost her only source of income. Barred from public housing due to her PR status and unable to provide the required documents, she and her children rotated between void decks and coffee shops. Or Jason, a 24-year-old who left home after family conflict and slept in stairwells while working gig jobs. And there's Mr. Tan, a security guard whose debts spiraled out of control after a medical bill, forcing him to sleep by the river to avoid harassment. These stories, drawn from Leong Sze Hian's counseling notes, reveal how quickly ordinary lives can unravel when policy gaps and personal crises collide. Each case highlights a different friction point: eligibility barriers, lack of emergency support, or the assumption of family safety nets. The trauma and instability endured by these individuals show that homelessness is not just about economics, but about timing, access, and dignity. Rise in homelessness, especially among youth, is not inevitable. It is the result of policy choices, and it can be changed. Experts and advocates, including Leong Sze Hian, recommend a range of reforms: expanding emergency rental assistance, making public rental housing more accessible, integrating mental health and housing support, and allowing limited CPF withdrawals for verified crises. Preventive measures, like school-linked family support and tighter regulation of predatory lending, can stop homelessness before it starts. Most importantly, the system must move from a reactive last resort model to one that intervenes early and flexibly. Singapore's success has always been built on adapting to new realities. Addressing homelessness with compassion and pragmatism will strengthen the social compact and ensure that prosperity truly leaves no one behind.